Hello there everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today you join me here in the Wyre Forest, just outside Bewdley. So I'm here at Dry Mill Lane car park, and today we're going to be walking the abandoned railway line that used to go through the forest. So it would come off the TimberValley Railway here, just along here, and then it would come through the woods. I think we're here, so it would have just come off and then gone through the woods. Now if we come over to this map of paths, you can see that we're here. And this red bit here is the old railway line. So we're going to be following that along a bit today. So we're going to do a bit of a time lapse. I hope you guys enjoy it. So it's something a little bit different for the channel. But yeah, so let me know what you think down in the comments. So let's get going. So today it is not a very nice day. We are filming on my phone in Ultrawide. But we are setting off. Yeah, so hopefully you guys will enjoy the Ultrawide. If you get a bit more in shot. As I said, it's not a very nice day. So hopefully you will be able to hear me instead of the wind. Anyway, coming up you can see we've got this nice big arch bridge. I think this is where a path would have crossed the railway line. So we are actually on the railway line at the moment. It's not very much remains, I have to say. It's just the path really. But it is a nice little cycle trail or walk, so if you're ever in this area, do drop by, because as I said, it's a nice little path. Anyway, we're going to continue. So here we are at the first piece of railway architecture on our walk. As you can see, quite a nice little railway bridge. Single arch, little viaduct thing. Not really much to see here. It's obviously got the embankment, the structure's still in place. Nothing really to see. It's quite blackened on the inside from the soot from the locos that would have come through. But other than that, not much to see, so let's continue. As you can tell, we are most definitely on a railway line. Look at this. Quite perilous drops on either side, and this side we've got a nice little brook down there. As I said, this is filmed towards the tail end of December, so you get quite a nice view through all the trees. Anyway, let's keep walking. So here we've got the start of another embankment coming up here, so the railway would have continued. As you can see, it's quite flat here. And on this side again we've got this nice steep drop. Yes, you wouldn't really want to be falling down that, would you? But yeah, there's not really much infrastructure left along this part. If I remember rightly, there's a couple of other bits of architecture a bit further up the path, but as I said, there's nothing here, so let's continue. So we've just come to this information sign here. So as you can see, this is on the Wyre Forest Butterfly Trail. There it is. It's a bit of information about it. You can pause and read that if you want to. And you can see, I think that's where we are here. You can't really see that, there you go. This is where we are, this is the old railway line. I think the idea is we're going to come along here and then come off along one of these points along here. So yeah, that's where we started out. We've come this far, so let's continue. So here we are, as you can see now, we've entered quite a deep cutting on both sides now, as you can see. So it looks on this side, there's a lot of stones sticking out the side. It looks as if there might be a remnants of a retaining wall or something, but I'm not too sure. Now if we come over here, you I'm not going to go through, but you can see quite a deep cutting down there. As you can see, that's the valley down the bottom with the little stream going through it. So we are quite high up here. Sort of fairly noticeable gradient as well, this, for a railway line at least. So yeah, quite an interesting line this. Anyway, we're going to continue. Right, so here we are. We've just arrived at an intersection, so I'll cover that in a bit more detail in a minute or two. But more importantly than the intersection is what lies just past it, which, as you can see, is a rather nice old bridge. So again, to my understanding, the railway line continues straight here. There is, of course, a path down there to a house, but that's not public, so I'm not going to be going down there. There you go, it's a permissive path. Down here, obviously this is the railway line, and that's obvious because of this. So here it is. This is another rather nicely preserved bridge, and I say preserved, it's not really preserved, but it is nice. And now this is quite interesting, because this to me looks like it could well be the remains of some railway ballast. So I'm not too sure. It looks like it. It might just have been placed down here for the footpath, but there's quite a lot of it around, so it looks like it might well have been at one point the railway ballast. Obviously this has got the same sort of charring on the underside. Well, the soot, I should say, it's not really charring, that the other one had, obviously from the steam locos. And yeah, it's quite a nice little bridge, as you can see. So there you go, bridge the second, and obviously straight past it is, again, pretty flat. Now, as I said, it looks like that could be ballast. This doesn't look particularly ballasty, as it were. I'll try and get some out, but I can't. It does say it doesn't look particularly ballasty, so I'm going to guess that this is footpath. There's been stuff put down for footpath, and bits like this haven't been, so either that's come out of there, which it won't have done, or that's old railway ballast. So yeah, let me know if you know what whether or not that is. Let me know, but I think it might well be. As I said, there's an equal chance of it either being railway ballast or not being railway ballast. Yeah, it's quite an interesting pattern up here. I don't know if the other one had it or not. These sort of vertical streaks on these bricks. So if you know what those are for, whether that's just part of manufacturing, let me know. It's very, very impressive. Of course, it is fenced off up there, so I can't go up, and I wouldn't go up anyway. But it is fenced off, so you can't get up onto it. But it would be interesting to see if there's anything on top of it. There won't be, really. But I thought it would just been like for a footpath or something. But yeah, nice old railway bridge. We're here now at quite an impressive embankment, as you can see. Yeah, so obviously the railway's here. It's just behind me. It would have come along there. And there you go, that's down into the valley. So it's sort of on top of an embankment, and that's sort of in a cutting, but it's a natural cutting. And if you listen carefully, you can hear the steam locos, or diesel locos, from the Severn Valley Railway. So that's not too far from here. That's about 2-3 miles that direction, and you can hear steam locos now and then whistling as they come through the station. So that's quite nice. And obviously from that steep embankment dropping away, we're back in a cutting again. So yeah, it's all over the shop, this railway line, but it is a rather nice one. As you're just in the forest, you know, it's nice. Anyway, we're going to continue walking. Now, this is quite interesting. Now, you'll notice that this, as abandoned railways go, is quite barren. There are a lot with much more on them. However, I have noticed a couple of things. One is an abandoned piece of, or a couple of pieces rather, of corrugated iron in there. That's fairly boring, as you can tell. But two is this. Now this to me looks like it's a bit of old railway fence or something. I'm not sure, it might be part of the forest, but that's what the forest fencing looks like. Doesn't look like it, so as I said, it might well be forest fencing, but it looks like it could equally be part of the railway line. And there's something going off over there. And I don't know if you can really see down there. You can't see it on film really. But there is a 20 sign that says 20. So I don't know what that is. Maybe it's a speed limit for people. Oh, hello. If I don't fall over. It could be a speed limit for people who work in the forest. Or it could be the name of a tree or something. I'm not too sure. But either way, there's a sign down there which says 20. So, alright, we get the message. Anyway, I'm going to continue along, but I don't think I'm going to record this because I haven't got that much space left on my phone. Oh, there you go, it's a dog. So I'm going to continue along here, and I'm going to cut, I think, rather than filming it all, because as I said, I haven't got much space left on my phone. I should have brought my camcorder out, but I'm an idiot, so I didn't. We've just got a sign down here, so I'm going to stop and have a quick look at this footpath sign. See what that says, and then we can continue then. Actually, having said that, I think that piece of wood I found before might have just been a bit of old forest fencing, but actually it might not have been, just on second thought. So I can see some repurposed bullhead rail. Now that's quite cool. I'm going to come down here, which I shouldn't really be doing, but it doesn't say I can't. So try and be quite quick about this. Present to you bullhead rail. Now this looks to me like it could be an access gate for this part of the forest, but we have got some converted bullhead rail. There you go, as you can see, that is definitely bullhead rail. No, that's flat bottomed rail. I was going to say it's bullhead, but it doesn't. That looks like to me flat bottomed rail, because that's flat bottomed. Doesn't look bullhead to me. I thought it was bullhead, but it's not. I think that's flat bottom rail. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's flat bottomed. Anyway, oh hello. If I don't fall over. That is about the first bit of really interesting railway architecture. Well, not railway architecture, but you know, railway find that I've seen today. There's a bit more in there. I don't think there's any more down here really. Is there now? We've just got these fences. So, yeah. And here you go, there's a bit more about the path. So we started off here. We're here now. And obviously the railway line continues through the Wyre Forest. I think it goes out towards Clibbery Mortimer. I'm not going to be walking that far today, I'm just walking a little bit in here. Anyway, that's well, I will leave you until I start the recording again. Having said that, I've just seen quite a nice dip down the bottom. So, yes. Anyway, I'll pick you up again if I find something interesting. If not, I'll just record some jibs and jabs of footage. Here you go. I'm back again, and I haven't actually gone more than about 5 yards in the opposite direction when I've spotted some more rail. Or what I thought was rail. That is not rail. But rail-like substance holding up this post here, which looks suspiciously similar to the one I found before, which I thought was a railway gate. Now I can confirm that's a concrete gate post thing. That's a wooden one. That looks like either an old sleeper, which it could well be for the thickness and the dimensions of it. And in fact, it's got a hole there that doesn't appear to be being used. So that looks like it could be an old railway sleeper. I thought that was rail. It's not rail, but that's, to me, looks like an old sleeper with a bit of iron on it. But yeah, so the one I found back there might well have been another one of these sleepers that's been repurposed as a gate post. So yeah, you will know, you'll be able to remember now what it was, because you can skip back on the video and find out exactly what it looked like. If it looked anything like that, it's a fence post, not actually a railway piece of signage, unless the railway used old sleepers, but I don't think they did. Anyway, I'm now going to come back up the embankment and go back to where I started, which was just there. So I left you there and I walked backwards. So I'm making very good progress in the opposite direction, which is not what I'd intended to do. Anyway, onwards. Right, it's speculation time, folks. We've come to quite an interesting section here. We've obviously got this little wall thing here, and for the most part that's been more or less level with the what's it called, the rail track bed. But here there's quite a noticeable dip. When you stand at the top of there's quite a noticeable dip, because it goes down and then back up again. Now, obviously, a railway wouldn't have been able to do that, because it would have probably caused all kinds of issues. So this is obviously it's moved over time. So I wonder if maybe it's either washed away, or it's been if it's just sunk to the sinkhole or erosion or whatever it is. But either way, you can see the embankment on the side there. Not too sure of its technical term, so please pop that down in the comments. But I suspect it might be embankment. But anyway, this is not level with it, so there's a good 5 foot gap. It doesn't really come across very well on camera, but there is a big gap there. And obviously, if I put you down at ground level, you can see how that sort of goes up in the distance. I'll say distance, it's about 2 metres in front of me. But yes, if you have any ideas why this might be, pop them down in the comments. I like to see your speculation. It's quite good fun to see what you guys think it is. I haven't got a clue, quite frankly. But as I said, if you guys do, please let me know. And we have another signpost here. Wyre Forest National Nature Reserve. There you go. Pause and read that if you're interested. But yeah, nothing about really what we are. Having said that though, we started there, we're there now. See, the railway continues down, and that's just on the outskirts of Legria Mortimer there. In fact, disused railway is there on the sign, and you can see we are following the disused railway line. It just continues straight through. Anyway, yeah, nothing really particularly interesting. We've got some cycle routes. I think this is National Cycle Route 45 up here, and of course quite a steep drop to that side as well. Look at that. I'm not going to go down, of course. It is quite a steep drop. Anyway, this little bit, as I said, is manufactured, so we are going to continue, I think. Yeah, let's go. Just spotted, I haven't really moved, but I have just spotted down there another one of those sort of old sleeper fence post things, so I can almost guarantee, especially as there's another one just past it, that those aren't from the railway line. I think those might be from the forest. I'm not going to go down to inspect it, because it's actually quite a way down. My camera's not doing it brilliant justice at the moment, but yeah, so I'm not going to go scrambling down, but It definitely looks like that's from the forest and it's an old sleeper. Anyway, I think here I'm going to part with you guys when I get to that crossroads up there. And I think I'm going to part with you guys because you don't really want to watch TimberValley Productions goes on a walk through a forest. You have come here to watch TimberValley Productions walking on an old railway line, which when I get here I'm going to stop doing. So I'm going to walk up here, show you guys the like the signs and all, and then I will sign off. So at this intersection the railway line continues straight on, but I'm not going straight on, as I said. Bench, signpost saying there's a footpath straight on. It is a horse trail, loop 1, straight on. Again, we're on the National Cycle Route 45. So if we go that way, down there, you can get to the Cal Hill Visitor Centre in 2 miles, or a family mountain bike route, which I'm guessing is like a circular thing. Anyway, Bewdley Town is 2¼ miles that direction. Dowles Brook is down there. Button Oak, which I believe is like a village, I think, is 3 miles in that direction, as is the family mountain bike route. So I'm guessing that sort of comes down there. I did see a couple of mountain bikers, family mountain bikers before. Where are we? It's another one of these, so you can pause and read that if you want. I'm not going to read it out. We're there. We started there, we've just walked along the railway line to here. I'm going to go down now. So I could continue, and that would go out to Clibberry Mortimer, but as I said, I'm not going out that way. The forest in here isn't the best for a lot of the old artefacts like rail or signs or whatever, or rail chairs or anything really. It's after you leave the forest that you want to be going on it, because it's pretty much overgrown, you know, it's like that all the way through, but as I said, here it isn't. Anyway, I'm going to walk off now, so I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. If you have, please consider leaving a like, commenting down below, and subscribing, even if you've enjoyed the content. I'll be putting out the post on my community tab. It's a poll. If you enjoyed this, please go vote on the poll. There's a link in the description, I think. That'll take you to the poll. Vote on whether or not you'd like to see more content like this. If you have enjoyed this, I will walk a few more railway lines, and I'll put another poll out, 2 polls out. Poll number 2 is going to be, would you like to see walking videos in general? So not necessarily walking railway lines, just walking in general. If you do, then I will do that. So anyway, as I said, hope you guys have enjoyed. I'll see you next time. Until then though, have a great one. I'll see you very, very soon with more content. Until then, bye for now.